As you get older, it is important to monitor your pulse. The incidence of cardiac pacemaker insertion goes up exponentially with age. Let's have a look at the graph. As you can see in the graph, at age 60, the line goes up exponentially. So by the time you are 80, the chances are pretty darn good you probably are going to need a cardiac pacemaker. Now, while a cardiac pacemaker is required for a slow heartbeat, a rapid heartbeat can be atrial fibrillation. Let's look at the incidence of atrial fibrillation. If you are over the age of 60, the chances of atrial fibrillation is going to go up exponentially. The same as a slow heartbeat, a fast heartbeat is the same problem. One of the major causes of a fast heartbeat is atrial fibrillation, and it is the 5th leading cause of stroke. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. I am a senior and a retired physician. I make videos about your health. Today I want to talk about stroke prevention using a smartwatch. Let's have a look at this, but before we do, you remember the like and subscribe. If you want to be kept up to date on future videos about your health, just click the subscribe button at the bottom and then turn on the notification. If you do that, we'll notify you when new videos come out. So for full disclosure, I purchased a Fitbit Sense watch and a Galaxy Watch 4 with my hard-earned retired money. The opinions in this video are mine alone and not supported by any commercial product. I've made over 10 videos about smartwatches and your health, including a very popular series, Saving Your Life with Wearable Technology. I will put the link to those videos in the description below, so if you want to watch them, just click the link. And remember, if you want to be notified, click the subscribe and notification buttons. Now, the symptoms of atrial fibrillation can be a bit of a fluttering in your chest or some palpitations, but also you may be asymptomatic. What do we mean by that? Well, you don't know you have it. And that is one of the big problems with atrial fibrillation and stroke, is that oftentimes when you come in with a stroke, you don't know you've had atrial fibrillation. Now, all the watches work exactly the same way. You require a watch, you require a phone, and the two have to be paired together. When you start to feel symptoms, then you are going to activate a feature on the watch called the ECG App. Now, this app works exactly the same on all 3 watches. You will activate it. It will then do what we call an ECG, which is a heart test. Now, the secret sauce is that the watch will actually interpret the ECG and tell you if you have atrial fibrillation. It does not tell you if you're having a heart attack. It does not tell you if your heart is healthy. The only purpose of the ECG app is to tell you if you have atrial fibrillation or you do not. All 3 watches work exactly the same way and have been approved for this by the FDA in the United States. So the 3 watches that have been approved by the FDA to detect atrial fibrillation are the Apple Watch, the Fitbit Sense, and the Galaxy Watch 4. I own the Fitbit Sense and the Galaxy Watch 4. Now, I've told you in the previous slide that they work exactly the same way. You have symptoms of atrial fibrillation, you activate the ECG app, and it says you do or do not have atrial fibrillation. So although they work exactly the same way, there are some unique features with each watch, which I am going to explain now. So the ECG app on the Apple Watch has been available since Series 4. Series 4 to 7 has the ECG app and atrial fibrillation detection. Now, the ECG app has been approved by the FDA in the United States and by Health Canada. As you know, the Apple Watch is sold globally. Apple does a very good job of getting the ECG app approved in each country it's licensed to use this in. Good job, Apple. Now, unlike the Apple Watch, which must be paired to an iPhone for it to work, it only works on the Apple system, the Fitbit Sense can be used either on Android or iOS. So if you do have an iPhone, you can use a Fitbit Sense with it, and the ECG feature will work. So it works on both the Android and iOS. Now, the ECG app has been approved in Canada and the United States, so you're able to do atrial fibrillation detection. As you know, this watch is sold globally, and generally there's been slow approval processes in getting this ECG app up and going. You'll find large markets like India, where it was sold into, still don't have this app approved and working. Now, I'm going to tell you about a new feature that's coming, so stay tuned to the end of the video. The Galaxy Watch 4, of course, is made by Samsung. Most of the non-cardiac features will work with all Android phones. However, the ECG app, which also includes blood pressure, will only work with Samsung phones. The ECG app was approved about 3 months after the Samsung Galaxy 4 watch was introduced in the United States, but it took 8 months before it was finally approved in Canada. There is definitely a slow approval of this ECG app as this watch is sold globally. Now, the ECG app requires regulatory approval in each country. In other words, the manufacturers of these devices have to submit data to the regulatory bodies, and they have to approve the information. And this is to make sure that these devices actually do what they claim to be able to do. Now, in the United States, the FDA has approved the Apple Watch, the Fitbit Sense, and the Galaxy 4 watch to be able to diagnose atrial fibrillation. These have been approved as level 2 medical devices, such as an ECG in a hospital. So you know if you purchase them, yes, they are going to work. But these watches are sold globally. So each country has the regulatory approval, and they must be approved in each country before the app is turned on. So it is so important, if you are considering purchasing this watch, that you make sure the app is available in the country that you're going to be using it in. Now, in my case, I bought a Fitbit Sense watch when it first came out. It wasn't until a year later that Health Canada actually approved the app. And with the Galaxy Watch 4 I purchased, it was 8 months before the approval process was completed in Canada. In fact, it was just last week. So if you have a Galaxy Watch 4, you are in Canada, yes, the app has been approved now, and you can use the ECG and blood pressure app on your Galaxy Watch 4 in Canada. A concern I have is that Google and Samsung are very slow in getting the approval process done. And in my case, I was a registered owner of both these watches, and I never got a notification or email when the approval process was done in Canada. I get lots of marketing wanting to sell me other stuff, but I never got an email saying that there was an approval process done. There's no place to get information. You can't go to their website. They don't have any pages that say, yes, these are the countries it's being approved on. This is the status. This is how long we're waiting. Nope, nothing like that at all. And the only way that you really have been able to get information about this is in the community forums on those sites. So please be cautious about this, because if the ECG app is not approved, it may be a very long time, even though the watch is sold in that country. So I've told you all these 3 watches work exactly the same. You develop some palpitations or a fluttering in your chest. You then do the ECG on your watch. Then it identifies whether you have or have not got atrial fibrillation. The problem is that many patients don't know they have atrial fibrillation, so they would never activate the ECG feature. The big news that has occurred in this past month is that Fitbit now has been approved by the FDA to passively monitor your heart. And this is not just probably going to be on the Fitbit Sense, but many of the Fitbit product line. This is an app that will work 24/7 to continuously record your heartbeat and tell you if you have not just atrial fibrillation, but other potentially serious, what we call arrhythmias of your heart. This is indeed exciting news, and I'm going to have a lot more to say about this when the app is released. So lots of interesting news. We have a new app coming out from Fitbit, and also a new Pixel watch coming out, which may have some new health features as well. If you are concerned about your health and want to learn more about how upcoming technology can help you, then click the subscribe and notification below, and we'll let you know as new videos come out. It's Ron Brown with Tech for Senior. Have a great day.